Hey!
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm here. Let's see, because there we go. I'm here live with Jimmy A. James.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Do you want to talk a little bit about why you're here?
I'm here to kind of branch out and try some different techniques within healing. I've been suffering with a lot of chronic pain and different issues with my neck and lower back and stuff for probably about 8 years or so. I've tried a lot of medications, over the counter, under the counter, prescribed, and they've all have their pluses and minuses. But I want to get more grounded, not just for myself, but just my attitude. I don't want to go the wrong direction, so that's why I'm here.
And recently, you were saying you've been in a case of
the fuckets. Yeah. Last year, Haas passed away. Everybody knows.
Haas was his companion dog.
Yeah, he was my service animal for 5.5 years. He meant the world to me. And this is just my way of thanking him by getting out and trying to do better. Even if it's a little bit here, a little bit there. Crawling works until you can run or walk. So
yeah,
it was a hard struggle. I'm still struggling with it. So if you're looking for some alternative healing or maybe just a way to find yourself again, maybe it might be the wording, maybe somebody says something a certain way. We all know that just because someone sits there and tells you a certain thing that you need to do, it really doesn't make sense until someone else says it. So.
Yeah. So you were in service.
Yeah.
How long ago?
I was in from 2002 to 2012, just shy of about 10 years. I was medically retired. Back in 2003, I had a grenade thrown at me at my post, and when it exploded about 10 feet from us. It was I'm sure it affected me, and it still affects me to today, not just mentally, but physically. There's quite a few other things, but I really enjoyed the military. I was planning on being a lifer, but it just didn't work out for me. So Here I am out here trying to help other veterans and other people within our communities, not just, Colorado, maybe I can touch on a little bit since it's
I'd like you to. Yeah, please.
I had an organization I had started up probably in like 2017. It was called Companionship. It was an organization to help other veterans find their place to be able to come out and train and play and just have a zero anxiety environment to come. It didn't really step off as well as I thought, but that was my direction, was just to help veterans, to show them a path of the right way to go, not just with their service animal, their companion or therapy animal, but maybe also try to find them some resources within the community that can help them to get back on their feet, whether it be the VA or private or somebody that just wants to step in and help out.
What are the things that veterans struggle most with when they integrate back into society? I'm sure there's a lot, but
that's a really hard one. The reason why I say that is I still struggle to this day.
Yeah.
I really don't know what the hardest struggle would be. Probably, I don't know, PM blues.
What does that mean?
When you're at home and, say the wife or your significant other, somebody's working or something like that, you have periods of time where you feel alone. You are alone. Like the time you spend when nobody else is around. It's kind of like those times, like the PM blues, and then they can happen not just at night, that just whenever your cycle is for sleep or your routine or whatever. You always catch yourself up in a trick bag. Probably getting back into the community would be another one. There's a lot of things that we've kind of gone through that, or experience or like training or something like that, that keeps us from being able to connect back in with the community. Because we're, the training and some people really take their military service to heart. I'm not saying that there's a lot of people that don't, but there is, so.
So that's something that's common for most of the people that you talk with. That kind of, would you call it depression? Are they calling it depression?
I'm pretty sure there's there's a big part of that where they would definitely call it depression.
Yeah.
Feels like Sparkle Pause fills my energy kind
He
of
does.
like getting out of control. And thank
So
you very
are you
much.
okay right now?
Yeah, I'm
okay. Okay.
It is a touchy, emotional,
Absolutely.
topic to talk about.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip right now. I don't know what really
So am I.
to talk about.
Thank you for talking about it.
Yeah, I need to talk about it more. There's a lot of things I've gone through, not just in my own personal life before the military, but while being in the military. You know, we all have our struggles, but you know, to get out there to talk about it, to show other people that, you know, it is a real thing.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Even on the civilian side,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of things that they've done for us to help to support us along the way, and they've also been affected by these same things that we deal with on a daily basis. So, you know, I really respect everybody out there that supports us and wants to see us do good. You know, sees the positive side of us, not just the other side. I think another good topic would be support. You know, there's different levels of like viewing support, and I think one of them is, I think I'm going to brain fart here. I don't remember what I was talking about.
Support. So I was going to ask you a question, and I think it ties into where you were going there. Is what does it look like when you come back and reintegrate into society, and then all of the time after that, not just in that period of time, but what does it look like for vets when they come back as far as what the support is that's offered to you to help you recover and heal?
I think the support's there in some sense.
Okay.
I just don't think there's like a direction of how to use it.
Okay.
So I think that really messes veterans up. Plus, there's a lot of veterans out there that kind of know the direction, but aren't really like current on what types of things are open for veterans.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of organizations out there that support and want to do really good, and they lead from the heart, just like myself, but they fail to realize that it's truly a business. It's truly something that you grow. It's not something, your heart's not going to get any bigger per se. You know?
Right.
You know? And you end up losing a lot of finances and resources and stuff along the way.
Yeah.
But support.
Okay.
So when a veteran or your significant other has a trigger that causes them to go a certain way, rather than turning it around on them and what the flip is wrong with them, why are they flipping out? You know, have some compassion, you know, figure out what's going on with that person. Don't just be like, oh, there he goes again, he's flipping out. You know, it's all his fault or her fault or something like that. So
blaming.
Stay humble, stay grounded, figure out what your partner or significant other or family member needs to help them to support, to get them through those triggers, because they're trying their best, you know, and I know there's certain situations where it doesn't work out, but just keep trying, just keep moving, keep doing what you're supposed to, keep trying a routine, keep going to the doctors. You know, I've had certain instances out here in Colorado where you go to see a doctor and, you know, you bring your service dog in there and they just know right away that they're just going to be able to take you for your money without any support. You know, I've done that for many years. I'm sure as many others have, and it just gets to the point where it's emotionally and physically exhausting when you can't even go to the ER for support. They just look at you and send you away to your nurse practitioner. And sometimes those doctors out there, it's just a hit and miss, just like with the VA.
Yeah. Yeah, some doctors have zero bedside manner.
Yeah.
So you found out about what I do. How long ago? A couple years ago we connected?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. I reached out to you. There was an event that I wasn't quite fully secure on going to without my service animal. Right. And had another friend show up with her husband, if you don't mind me saying her name.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah.
Her name's Christy Dunphy. She's a realtor down in the Colorado Springs area. She helped me and the wife get her place. And she has like full support. So it's really cool. She supported Companion Ranch.
Yeah.
She came out there to that event along with yourself to help to keep me grounded, to support me in the time of need, but while still trying to get the information out for others to find support and help and things that they need along the way.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Just how we met and what led you to me. Yeah,
so it was a really awesome event. It pretty much showed you and talked about what a service dog is, what a therapy dog is, what an emotional support dog is, and how they integrate with each other within society. So it was actually a really good event.
Yeah, it was.
I really appreciated you coming out and supporting me
in
that fashion. And it was kind of out of the box, you know. It's like, well, what kind of support do you need? I'm like, hey, just regular grounded support, you know. And it was a really awesome visit. You also got to meet Tracy for the first time.
Tracy Nazarene, is that her last name? Nazarenes, yeah.
For the first time.
And she's the what is her position?
She's the boss.
She's the boss of Valor for Veterans.
I mean, titles aside, she's the person that spearheaded it all. And
she's the powerhouse.
Yeah, she really is. And the girls, you can't forget about those girls, man. Yeah. The Crusaders, Valor for Veterans. I guess I could talk a bit about that.
Please do, yeah.
When Haas passed away, I went out to Tracy's ranch, and we had a good time out there, dealing with some things that needed to be dealt with. But the president and the CEO, they both asked me if I wanted to be an ambassador for Valor for Veterans, Crusaders Valor for Veterans, that provide food, utilities, and rent. They have about four programs, I believe they're working on right now, and all just different levels of support. Not necessarily food, not necessarily rent or utilities, but the full thing. Whatever it takes to help the service member get back on their feet. Just a little bit helps. Not over resourcing, not going out of the way, but so if you wanted to check out Valor for Veterans, you could check them out at valorforveterans.us.
I'll put a link in the comments.
Every time.
It's one way.
But I said yes, and I would have said yes to a lot of different organizations too, but they didn't ask.
Right.
And so just been kind of stepping out, trying to figure it all out, trying to figure out the social media aspect of it, trying to figure out what my true role is, not just walking around with this cool beard.
He's got such a great beard. Beard. I even have beard envy.
So it's just trying to find my place within the organization to make sure that me as a veteran and as a person, we hit the milestones that we need to hit to be able to be successful to help more veterans out and their family members along the way.
So important. It's so important. Because it's not just an individual issue, it's a social issue. And then you're coming back and integrating and then trying to live a normal life with your family and your peers, and it's not normal.
Yeah, and sometimes, hanging out with your Vietnam battles down at the VFW, sometimes it's a path. It really is, but it may not be the right path for you. Different generations kind of roll differently, but overall, in a whole, we respect all our brothers and sisters, no matter where they come from.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that our viewers can do to support veterans? Other than what you've already said, because you've already given us a lot of really good stuff.
Just to be there for them when you need them. Don't, say, there's another veteran that needs some sort of help.
Right.
Or,
of course, you need help.
I think veterans are the biggest judges in the world,
Judges or
judges. We judge people a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of veterans judge people.
Okay.
And it's probably not the right thing to do.
I think it goes both ways.
Within their own community,
right.
We all have a good time and talk crap about each other and stuff like that. But when we get outside of that circle, sometimes, things do change.
So what's the judgy stuff? I'm curious.
Just
walking around judging the rest of us.
Well, I don't have any examples offhand just right yet. Maybe for a different video.
Right. Okay. All right.
I can think of some stuff.
Just generally speaking. Okay. So they need some help with that then too. Then with judgments and okay. All right. Do you find yourself judging?
Not anymore.
Good. Okay.
I used to judge a lot, but you know what? Over time, you get past certain milestones in life, certain, maybe an age, maybe it may be,
maturity,
and you stop thinking about a lot of those things, about just in general, just judging.
Yeah.
You know, why do they have this? You know, why don't I have the support that I need? You know, and overall, I think the judging comes because the circle isn't full, it isn't complete. Like,
right.
you know, everybody deserves that same support and everything, and I think that's where the judging comes in. Like, you know, well, how come you got your, you know, such and such and such shit before me, and this and that, and it's like, you know, there's no pecking order. It's just everybody's kind of tossed into the circle.
Yeah. So what do we need to complete the circle? Is it individual?
Well, it's not just reading about the veteran or somebody that's going through trauma. It's actually truly engaging into it.
So are there local events in Denver? Do they hold events that some of our people here locally, or I mean, it's through the whole United States, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So maybe going to an event and learning a little bit more would be good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information on the site
to
help people get up to speed. But as far as like organizations or places that actually support veterans and stuff like that, there's a lot of them. You can find different organizations that will fit your kind of your profile, your mold, or what you're into. Like, you know, if you want to get all nice and wild and crazy over there at the disgruntled vets area where they go out and have a good time and
drink
and raise money for other organizations that help veterans and stuff like that through the world, through the United States, not just Colorado. You know, that might be something for you. You know, there's quite a few other organizations out there that help out. Not offhand, maybe I can send you some links later, and people can kind of check it out and see, you know, what different types of support levels there are. You know, there's, you know, Army, Marine, Air Force, Navy. I mean, everybody.
What did you serve in?
I served in the United States Army.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
There's another one out there if you'd like to get out and do things that's not kind of military orientated, but it kind of works within the community too. There's Red, White, and Blue. Okay. Which is another kind of get out and pull up your bootstraps and have a good time and go rucking or hiking or walking or whatever you can do. I believe they just opened up one in Pueblo. Okay. So stay tuned for that.
Okay. Cool. So thank you so much.
I didn't do anything.
Does anybody have any questions? Because if you do, you can pop them over there and we'll that way.
I have my glasses on so I can read.
I like your glasses.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get Jimmy in here to see me for a while now. So yeah.
I hide a lot. Let's just say that. From the pain and stuff, it really keeps me at home. I really do honestly really love to get out and do things. Sometimes it's really nice when you have someone to go with. Yeah. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes on the days that people do have events or I want to get out really bad, I just honestly, I really can't. So I'd like to apologize in advance that, you know, I do have some things that I'm dealing with that keep me at the house more often than not. So when I do get out and go do something, I try to hit it hard. Like I spend, you know, like a week or two, like prepping in my mind and trying to work with, you know, my pain and aches and stuff to make sure that when I do out there, I try to have a good time and try to be the person that I know that I want to be, that everybody knows that I can be. So
I'm going to keep him here all day.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We're going to party.
I already booked out the whole day to walk around, smell rocks and shit. You know,
I'll sage them.
I won't lick them because they're either salty or something. I don't know.
Some of them don't taste good. Yeah. So what we're working with is we're working with the internal workings of the anxiety, if we want to throw a label at it.
Sure.
You're dealing with PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And do you have a lot of triggers?
I do.
Okay. All right.
I've been using a lot of redirect techniques, a lot of cognitive behavior therapy.
That's cool. Good.
And just talking about it. You know, we all have our own issues. You know, everybody likes examples, so I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah.
You know, you get back and, you know, you're driving around and, you know, in life, everything's in forward motion. You know, nobody ever thinks that they can actually stop and pull over when they get triggered.
Right.
Or, you know, look, I can't express it enough. They can't freaking hear you, man.
When they're in the middle of an attack.
Yeah, when you're screaming and cussing at somebody from another car, they don't know what's going on with you. They don't know that you're hurting inside. They don't know that that they caused you to have a moment. They don't know that, and they don't deserve that. The way you come at them, or pull them out of the car and want to beat the crap out of them or something. They don't understand. They don't know what you went through, and they definitely can't hear you screaming until you roll the window down. But there's nothing that says that you all can't just pull over, just let that go by, take a moment, take a breather, regroup, and get back out on the road and sound like a hyena in your car again,
Right.
When you're singing and stuff, What you saying? I sound like a hyena in the car when I sing.
Do you want to sing for us a little bit? I want to hear this. I'll get him to sing for me later.
Sparkle Paws might start howling.
Right.
Or something,
People are like, oh my God, what is going on?
But there's a lot of those triggers. I deal with a lot of triggers. And it's really just taking the time to understand that this. And I learned it the hard way. And it took years.
Yeah.
You want people to be close to you. You want people to support you. You want them to love you and care about you. But every time they come at you, you lash out at them like a wild animal. Realistically, that's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And the people that you want close, they don't deserve that.
Right.
Why do you need to tell them about your service and what the things that you've gone through? You weighed that on your shoulders. You don't need to put that on somebody else's, because they don't deserve it. They don't need the attitude. Yeah. And what I'm saying is, it is as close as it could be a brother or a sister that has never gone through those experiences. Yeah. Those are the same ones that don't understand. They're the same ones that are in front of you that you married. Even if they didn't serve, they still go through those same connections.
Stuff, yeah.
Same things. And they don't need that. They really don't. They don't, come to ask you a question or something like that, and then all of a sudden you're just like freaking out, and it's just like, just take a break, man. It's gonna be okay. It's not that serious.
Right.
And I guess after hospice, I met my platform of things, of everything that could possibly go wrong in my life.
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Companionship ranch fell apart after that.
And it was just that was my top.
Last year was a little rough.
So everything below that, it really honestly doesn't matter.
Case of the fuckets. So I figure that he's in the perfect place for me to bring him into something different. And so I'll talk a little bit about what we're gonna do, and then he's agreed, and as long as it feels comfortable after we're done our session, Jamie has agreed to do a shorter testimonial after, to talk a little bit about what's different for him. Yeah. And sometimes the recalibration process will take a number of days, but we should see some shifts and differences within the next few hours. And I'm really looking forward to that. So he's dealing with a lot of nerve pain through his whole body. Yes? Yes. Okay. So is there other physical stuff that you have going on? Yeah. Do you want to share? Because then...
Yeah, I guess I'm going to share.
Okay. All right.
So I got a lot of nerve pain I've been dealing with since, after the explosion and stuff like that kind of crept up on me and stuff. Yeah. Of course, the PTSD. Internally, I deal with herniated discs in my neck. So you're looking at C3, 4, 5, 6 that are herniated, bulging, and degenerative disc disease. Okay. Shoulder injuries, lower back injuries, running. You got bad knees, bad ankles.
Okay. Naughty.
Exactly. And the chronic pain can just come out of nowhere. Yeah. It could be in your foot. You could just walk along 1 minute just fine, and then it's like instant sloth mode.
And that pain is like a pain syndrome. That pain syndrome ties into the spiritual and emotional and psychological stuff that ties back into not only the time in service, but a lot of us have stuff that ties all the way back to childhood. Right. That will contribute to these pain patterns that manifest, and it comes out of the blue, and a lot of the times they can't explain it. Right. Like they probably have no idea why you have this nerve pain. Right? No, they can't. And in 2 weeks you have, is it 2 weeks you have an appointment set with somebody, with a neurologist?
Yeah, I have an appointment set in a couple of weeks to go talk about some other directions of support and healing for myself. But
are they talking about medications?
I'm trying not to go with the medications, and here's why. Good.
Yeah.
Everybody likes examples and stories.
Yeah.
So when I got out of the military, I was on fentanyl patches for pain.
Okay. Yeah.
It had gotten that bad. Now I was doing well, you know, taking my medication on time and stuff like that, because, you know, now we know what fentanyl is these days, and we know that it's not something to mess around with. So I was on it for about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years. And when I got out, the VA had some other things that they wanted not to do, and one of them was not to provide me with the medication the Army did. They wanted me to start over from the bottom, which was about 6 years worth of work that I had done, not just in the physical aspect, but the mental aspect of it. I went home and detoxed on the floor for about 3 or 4 months. So, you know,
yeah, thank you for your service.
I just don't want that medication anymore. I don't want pain medication.
No.
I want to know why.
Yeah.
What's going on with me? How can I deal with this?
Yeah.
Because the medication messes you up just as much as the actual injury. Yeah,
and sometimes you're having to take other medications to deal with the side effects of the medication that you're taking for this thing, and then you're going into sometimes an addictive program, especially with pain meds.
Yeah, I think at one point I was on like 22 different types of
Jesus!
medication. No, I wasn't on him at the time.
Well, with Jesus, you don't need any of it, right?
Yeah,
so
I've been on some serious medications.
Okay, 22 of it. Yeah, all at once.
I'm just done.
Fuck that too.
Yeah, I'm just done. I'm done entertaining my triggers.
Yeah.
You know, if I can find a redirect. I guess the way I explained it back in the day was it's kind of like a chaos circle, in a sense. So you find the trigger that you see. And then you start working that chaos circle back with redirects and different types of cognitive behavior therapy techniques. That way, by the time it triggers you, it's kind of like a brain fart.
A unicorn brain fart.
I don't know.
A rainbow unicorn brain fart.
Not everybody deserves sprinkles. Sprinkles are for winners. All right, so.
They're banning glitter, so we can't do glittery farts anymore.
Oh, man, that's messy.
Right?
Tell me how you get the glitter. You need to eat it or something? Anyway.
Yeah, we won't even get into that. People do ridiculous things.
Right. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to try something different, you know, and I want to say it. So freaking Discovery Channel, all right? So this is probably not going to be like the Discovery Channel.
I'm not going to give them weird medicine and like do chant over them.
You know what I mean?
Like
everybody has their own way of doing things, and in my vision, when I learned about what she does for other individuals and herself, I just kind of pictured this really rowdy person in this like costume and chanting and dancing around and throwing shit. You know, kind of like that dude that does that stuff on the Muppets.
The shaft bird.
So
I could do that. I mean,
that's kind of what I thought.
At your service. Like, okay. Do we need that? Okay, we'll do chef today.
So that's kind of what I kind of thought in my head. I know it's not what it's going to be, but I just thought it was kind of comical.
Well, now I'm going to make it that, so I don't want to let you down.
Another video soon.
Right?
I'll just be holding a feather.
Those are top secret ceremonies that we do. Okay. Okay.
So, you know, everybody has their own way that they help other individuals, and that works in other cultures and stuff like that. You know, they may not work with, you know, within the United States. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, every single person that comes to me, I'm operating in a different way, and I'm tailoring what's showing up for that individual. Right. So, you know, and I can speak the language of the person that's sitting in front of me, and I'm not going to get all woo woo on people. And I mean, I'm not going to put crystals on your forehead and stuff like that. You know, if I do, that's okay. But, I like what you said about the cognitive work that you've been doing. And I do a lot of work with the cognitive framing of experiences. But that's great, and that's super, super necessary. But what we need to do is to get into the energetics of it, the frequency and vibration, and the morphic fields of information that are stored in your field that are tied into and locked into those moments in time where you had trauma.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to unpack your bags.
I didn't bring any.
We're gonna declutter his house. Okay. So I'm going to do with Jimmy today. One of the things that I'm feeling very strongly is going to come up is the protocol that I learned from Dr. Richard Bartlett and Melissa Joy, and it's called PsychoEmotional Energetics. And this is something, the first time I ever saw this happen or used when I was in training for this, they were doing it on a vet. And he'd been in a combat situation where there was an explosion and his entire platoon was affected.
Sure.
It was a massive experience for him. So he had all the sights, sounds, all of the things, he's been there. So when we do this protocol, we have the person go into it, but it's not the same thing as EMDR. Have you done that?
No, I haven't got into EMDR yet.
It's like fast tracking EMDR in about 10 or 15 minutes. And when it's done, it's done.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I've, like I was saying, I'm kind of at the house kind of a person. It took me 2 years to come to this point.
Finally got him in here.
It may take me another 2 years to get some other types of programs, but during that journey, I would like to, even if we do something later on or, down the road or, regardless of what it is, I would like to keep it going. And, and just because you didn't have to walk 30 miles, over terrain and stuff to get to your shaman or to your healing practitioner or something like that, just give it a try, see if you can even just pull the information of what your healing practitioner or the person that's helping you out, you could use, you might not be able to use the feather because that's theirs, but something within that feather you may be able to take away from that may be able to help you or help other people in your life to be better, to feel better.
Yeah, and the work that I do is, yes, I'm trained as a shamanic practitioner, and that's something we've been doing shamanic things for thousands and thousands of years, and really the shaman is just the bridge between the spiritual and the physical world. And what we're doing, all of the different modalities and, training that I've had are integrated into my practice. So I'm working a lot in quantum healing, or it's not even really healing. It's like quantum shifts.
Right.
Okay. So I work a lot more with matrix energetics and that kind of thing, but the shamanic practice comes in. It's really cool to have a great toolkit to work with, because then I never get bored.
So you kind of like trigger in like the significant emotional event rather than the trauma of it.
Yeah, so all of it. So intuitively, so what I do when I'm going to work with him today, okay, I will connect in. I'm already connected into his field, but I'm also connected to all of you, so not focused here. But when I connect to Jimmy, I'm going to be able to tap into what's happening, but I'm going to teach him how to tap into his own experience, okay? So, and then we ask questions. So I do the detective work, and that's the conversation that we have, or what I call transformational dialogue that we'll have before we go into session on the table, which is where, he gets to lay down and zone out while I do the, whatever magic comes in, and I don't plan it. I don't work in any sequences or anything. Trained in some, but
right.
I don't typically use
sequences. What starts the process.
I just work in intuitive flow and notice what I'm noticing, and what the idea is that we will integrate all of the discordant and dysfunctional programs from his field, and then reintegrate things that are going to be useful. And some of the intentions is that it would be really nice for you to be able to get out more,
right,
and connect more, and maybe get back on your feet with some sort of a maybe with companionship or Ichikan. Does that feel like something?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, the organization, once you close it down, then the name, everything is still attached to me.
There.
So,
okay.
Even if it's not Companion Ranch, even if it's not that location, even if it's, restructured, as long as I'm helping veterans out, to help myself, to help others, that's what I want to do. And that's what I do all the time. And I do it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I did it for quite a few years, and I think I did pretty decent.
Yeah.
But I would like to get out on to some more different types of platforms, not just.
Well, maybe we can start a little group thing.
I think we talked about it earlier, that we were thinking about maybe figuring out a very simplistic program or something like that for veterans, to help veterans to be able to find ways to get back on their feet, regardless of what that looks like.
Yeah, in the core issues that they're having being addressed.
Right.
You know, that you cannot fix that with any pill.
Right. Because like you were saying, you know, PTSD hits you one way. Different environments, different things can happen. But complex PTSD, you know, which I'm also diagnosed with, hits you in a very different way.
Right.
You know, it takes you from not going through like tons of different types of milestones in your life to not having any of them.
Right.
And just blazing a trail. And then when you look back, you're like, well, I thought I had a hurdle on lane 5, but I guess I never learned that. So now you're learning it at 40, and it just looks very different. You know, something similar to maybe going back to college or something like that for your first time. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you just, meh.
Let's get you. Okay, so we've got some comments on here. Let's see. Love the pillow combo.
What?
I got some nice pillows here. Krista, you should come see me. Okay, so Jay is saying that EMDR is an amazing technique. EMDR is an amazing technique, and there's something actually better available. It's quicker, it's more effective, and we're gonna be able to see the results of it after. I've worked with clients with this, and I can't take credit for it. It's Dr. Richard Bartlett's. So let's see.
I honestly thought that you were going to say something totally different.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't remember now.
I don't remember either. I don't even know what I just said. So, okay, so it's time for us to get into session. So I'm going to play with Jimmy in the field of infinite potential. And hopefully, do you want to take your glasses off for a sec so they can see your eyes? Because often if you feel comfortable with that, often the eyes look very different after we do this work. There's more light that shines through, and now it sounds kind of weird, but it's true.
Yeah.
So if you feel comfortable taking your glasses off and just kind of looking at them for a sec.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe.
No. So no. Okay. He looks handsome in his glasses. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much. I know that this was really different, but thank you so much. Please support your veterans, please, in every possible way. Be kind, be loving, don't be an asshole. Okay, right? Well, we've said the F-bomb, you know, but it's pretty simple, all wrapped up in a nutshell, you know. Yeah. So yes, remember that everybody, when they have stuff going on, they're dealing with something inside of themselves that's really, really uncomfortable. So step back, don't project, don't react, be kind from your heart, okay? Now, everybody, breathe into your heart.
What?
And go play.
Talk to you guys soon.
Have a beautiful day. I love you all. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.